Hey everyone, it's Amy, and I want to talk to you about something a little more serious. And this has more to do with giving hope to people. So, I want to share with you my multiple miscarriage stories and my successful pregnancies. I'm not going to go into too much depth, but I want people to know that miscarriages are common. They're common. They're heartbreaking. You feel alone. So, back in the day, I had a pregnancy, and that one was a missed miscarriage, which means I carried the baby till 16 weeks, but the baby died shortly after 8 weeks. So, I had my doctor's visit. Everything looked great. For some reason, it didn't catch on the 12-week doctor's visit. I don't know if they don't check. I don't remember the full situation. By 16 weeks, I miscarried. And I didn't just miscarry. So I was in a country hospital. I miscarried at home, given no drugs, delivered everything at home. It was a bad experience. I'm okay. The baby was not. I went into ER, turned out I had a missed miscarriage, blah, blah, blah. Because you can't really go to labor and delivery until you're 20 weeks. And that's unfortunate. It really is. So then my second pregnancy was a straight miscarriage. I just found out I was pregnant. And a week later, I lost the baby. It tears your heart up. Sobbing and crying, feeling so alone. Like, what did I do so wrong in the world? Why is God choosing me not to have this baby? And then I got pregnant with Christian, and because of my previous miscarriages, I was scared to death. And by the way, I tried everything to get pregnant. I was doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And when I mean crazy, like, I was doing handstands, and I was trying everything to get pregnant. And Christian was a successful pregnancy. Christian will now be 5 in December. With 0 complications, might I add. Then I got pregnant again. And still, you can never let go of miscarriages. You can never let go of the fact that your baby was ripped out of your body. And it's like tattooed on your heart. So I was pregnant again. And super excited. This one's kind of hard for me. I went to the doctor, and she's like, I don't understand why it's showing you're pregnant. You're not pregnant. So they did an ultrasound. And sorry, I'm like, the angle of the camera's weird, but this is emotional. Turns out I had 2 gestational sacs, which is fraternal twins. Well, it's twins. Yeah, it's fraternal. And no babies. And then that led to a bigger issue when a new doctor did a DNC and didn't realize I had a placenta accreta on top of that. So it was an overnight procedure for a DNC because they had to give me methotrexate to stop the bleeding or whatever the doctors do. They did a fantastic job. That was heartbreaking. We weren't even allowed to try for another baby for 8 weeks. About 8 weeks. But that was heartbreaking. 2 gestational sacs. And God just ripped them out of my hands. And I'm sorry if you're not religious, but I didn't understand why. I felt so alone, and I was so upset. And then I got pregnant again. Shocker. And it was twins. And so you can only imagine how afraid I was to go through this pregnancy. Especially since, here's the kicker, I bled during my twin pregnancy. TMI for some of you, I'm trying not to go graphic. I had a subhematoma tear in my uterus that was causing me to bleed. So I bled till about 16 to 18 weeks with twins. And we're not talking like brown. We're talking like where you typically go to the doctor and say, oh my God, I'm miscarrying. I actually found out I was pregnant because I knew I was pregnant. I actually found out it was twins. And I started bleeding. And so I went to ER because I was miscarrying. And I in my mind, I was miscarrying and I wanted the baby okay. Bleeding during a pregnancy is not abnormal. It's usually brown, pink, and red are concerned. That's new blood. So, of course, I was freaking out. So they started HCG levels and blah, 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 and given my history with miscarriages. And she did the ultrasound. She said, congratulations, it's twins. And I said, oh, because my husband was going to be gone for business. And I knew what was coming up. And the twins are here. So I went into preterm labor at 28 weeks, the day after my birthday. It was September 8th. And I remember because it was the day after my birthday. And I was like, I think I should get the babies checked. Just something in my gut. Apparently I have a high pain tolerance because I kept saying, ow, it hurts. I thought they were kicking because with Christian, I was constantly in for false labor or Braxton Hicks. And so I thought they were just kicking. Drove 30 minutes to the hospital. Nurse comes in, checks me out, and says, oh, tell me when you feel anything. And I said, ow, 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 they're moving. She said, no, honey, you're having 3-minute apart contractions, and you're in active labor. So then I was airflown to another hospital, because I'm a rock star. I don't recommend driving while you're having contractions, let me tell you. I contemplated, because I didn't know I was having contractions, about pulling over, but then I was afraid because my son was in the back. What happens if we get hit from behind or something? Or what happens if I can't flag down a cop? Like, it's just easier to keep driving and just suck it up. Twins are here. Twins made it to C-section date. No NICU. Twins are fine. Then my ANA was elevated from giving birth to twins. And here we go again. So while I was being tested for a blood disorder, antiphospholipid syndrome, and possibly lupus, I was seeing a blood specialist, a hematologist, and while I was getting tested, they said there's only one safe birth control you can use, and it's Esure. Not Insure, Esure. And it's like a coil, and they insert it, and it seemed semi-permanent, and we weren't making the decision just yet. And I didn't want to make it based on life. I didn't want to say, well, I could have X, I could have Y, and I could have Z. So yeah, hell, let's do something permanent. No. So a week before I got medically cleared to go on birth control, Amy's pregnant again! And why am I sharing all these pregnancy stories and these miscarriages? Is to give you hope. Nobody's evil. Miscarriages are common. And I understand this is a touchy subject. I am not at all lightening the mood. I'm hoping that if I can share with you that I've had 3 miscarriages and one of them were twins, that you have hope to keep trying, to keep pushing through, and to keep persevering. And to know that you're not alone with miscarriages. It's painful. It's scary. Pregnancy is scary. Let's be honest. It's scary when you're throwing up and you're bleeding and you don't know what you're going through. And there is no certain outcome. Like, you can't say, my baby's going to 38 weeks and they're going to be healthy and they're going to be excellent. There is no planning pregnancies. Pregnancies dominate and do their own thing. They're very spontaneous events. You can't predict right in your planner, like, hey, I think I'm going to throw up at 3 o'clock and that sounds about right. And I'll throw up from 3 to 3:30 and then I'll go play in my planner. Not happening. Life is unpredictable. Life is scary. Life is sad. But because you're on my channel, you're not alone. I am here for each and every one of you. I don't want anyone to ever feel alone in what they're going through. I don't want anyone to feel like they have no one to turn to. No safety net in life. Because honestly, this world is about love and friendship and caring. And so I got pregnant with Cameron, and I looked at the doctor and I said, he's my last one. Are you sure you don't want to try for a girl? No, I don't want to try for a girl. No, no, no. Why do I have to try for a girl? Can't I just be a boy, Mom? Like, seriously. What are all these, like, crazy stipulations with that? Like, oh, you have 2 girls, you gotta try for a boy. Oh, you have 2 boys, you gotta try for a girl. Please! That's another $10,000 in the first year of life that I have to lovingly shell out. Are you paying my bills? If you pay my bills, I will have all the babies you want. Just kidding. Just kidding. Not happening. For me, it was more about being selfish. I wanted my body back. I'd been pregnant for so long. I was tired of being pregnant. And so then Cameron came. So Cameron was supposed to be a 10-pound baby. So when the doctor said he was extremely small, I freaked out. Like, hardcore. I was laying there and ballistically screaming, is he okay? And I start crying. And she kept saying, oh my God, he's so small. Oh my God, he's so small. Because the rules were, oh yeah, I put rules. And oh, by the way, you have full control over your birthing room, your lights, the music, how many doctors are in there. To some extent, you have control. So make sure you take that so that you're comfortable. I was like, if he is not healthy, you're not allowed to you're not allowed to cut me. Like, tie me up. And so she kept saying he was small, and I was like, she's like, okay, it's time to, tie you up. And I said, no, not until I know he's okay. And then I heard him cry, and I was like, oh, thank God. It was like holding your breath for so long and then saying, oh, he's okay. Oh, I can breathe. I can breathe. He's okay. Cameron was 6 pounds, 4 ounces. I think. I'm pretty sure. I never had big babies. I'm not going to lie. Well, the twins were big for twins, but I never had big babies. And they're supposed to get bigger. Mine went smaller, but whatever. So he was okay. So I said, yes, this is TMI. Tie me, cut me, snip me, 6 inches on each side. I'm done having babies. And I decided I was done because I was tired of being pregnant. Yes. Do I know how that happens? Yes. Personally, I don't like birth control. I don't like putting something foreign in my body. I don't like remembering to take it. I don't like gaining the weight from Depo because I loved Depo because it was 1 shot every 3 months. I hated gaining the weight. I gained 10, 15, possibly 20 pounds on Depo. Probably. And that was with working out because I'm not unhealthy. I love walking. I love being active. So I had 6 pregnancies and 4 successful babies because there was a set of twins. And if you have had a miscarriage, I'm sorry. From the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry. It's not easy. But I'm here right now to tell you you're not alone. And I am here for you. So I hope this video gives people encouragement that no matter what happens in life, especially when there's a loss of life, somebody is always here for you. I love you guys. Bye.